A Tablian chief has warned the regime will bring back executions and amputations for petty crimes. Mullah Nooruddin Turabi also warned the world against interfering as he dismissed outrage over executions in the past, some of which took place in front of crowds. The one-eyed, one-legged fighter was the chief enforcer of its harsh interpretation of Islamic law when the Tablian was last in power. Now he defends the barbaric punishments as necessary for security. Speaking from Kabul today, he said, "Everyone criticized us for the punishments in the stadium, but we have never said anything about their laws and their punishments. No one will tell us what our laws should be. We will follow Islam and we will make our laws on the Quran." Since the Taliban took control of Afghanistan in August, citizens are anxious they will revive their harsh punishments of the late 1990s. Mr. Turabi's comments suggest the top leaders still maintain a deeply conservative, hardline worldview. Previously, Mr. Turabi was the Justice Minister and head of the so-called Ministry of Propagation of Virtue and Prevention of Vice, also regarded as the religious police. Governments around the world denounced the Tablian's public executions, which either took place in Kabul's sports stadium or on the grounds of the Eidgah Mosque. Convicted murderers were usually executed by a single shot to the head. The punishment was carried out by the victim's family, who were given the option of accepting blood money and allowing the criminal to live. Convicted thieves had their hands amputated, but those convicted of highway robbery lost a hand and foot. The judicial process was rarely public and decisions weighted in favor of Islamic clerics. Mr. Turabi said that this time around judges would make a decision on the cases, but the same punishments would be revived. He clarified there would be female judges as well. He added, "Cutting off of hands is very necessary for security." The Taliban have already brought back an old punishment for petty theft, publicly shaming the men accused. In the past week, there have been at least 2 instances of Kabul men packed into the back of a pickup truck, their hands tied, and been paraded around. In one case, faces were painted to identify them as thieves, and in another stale bread was hung from their necks or stuffed in their mouth. It wasn't clear what their crimes were. Mr. Turabi is now in charge of prisons, under the new Taliban government. Mr. Turabi insisted the regime has changed as he spoke with a female journalist in Kabul. He said, "We are changed from the past. He added that television, mobile phones, photos and video will be allowed because this is the necessity of the people, and we are serious about it. The Taliban dramatically regained control of Kabul on August 15, with the Afghan government collapsing in almost no time as US and UK troops controversially withdrew. The troops' withdrawal put an end to a 20-year war waged by the US and Allied forces in retaliation for the Al-Qaeda's 9/11 attacks that killed 3,000 people. A Foreign Office spokesperson told the Mirror in a statement, "We will continue to do all we can to secure safe passage and deliver on our obligation to get British nationals and eligible Afghans out of the country." They added that over 15,000 people, including British nationals, Afghan nationals and their families, have been evacuated since mid-August. Read more. Read more.